Hello again and welcome back to my channel. It's been a while, so I thought I'd make a quick video about a simple game to get back into the swing of things. This is also the start of a sub-series called Casual Fridays, where I make quick videos about simple yet enjoyable games. And the game of today's video is Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver. Man, I sure do love Hot Wheels. I got a whole lot of them when I was a kid. Mom and I had a deal. If I behaved when she took me to run errands with her, she would buy me one Hot Wheel. And let me tell you, she took me on a lot of errands. And I still occasionally collect new and old Hot Wheels to this day. But whatever I got is nothing compared to what this kid got, my god. If I'd gotten that much Hot Wheels stuff as a kid, I would have instantly pooped my pants from sheer excitement alone. But at least the kid was nice enough to build these really cool tracks for us to drive on. Now we just gotta drive on all of them before his parents make him pick his toys up. Alright, so we're at the main menu. Looks like we've got a championship mode, a track editor mode, and looks like a single race mode. I guess we'll start with the championship mode. This here is championship mode, a series of 6 races where you race against the abstract concept of time itself. If your time runs out, you lose the race and you have to restart the whole championship from the beginning. No retries or anything. But if you do manage to beat the clock and finish the race, you can unlock a new track and even unlock a new car. The cars themselves have 3 stats. The top one has an icon of a burnout, so it's probably acceleration. The second one has an engine, so that's probably power or top speed. And the last one is a steering wheel, so that's probably handling. But I seem to be having a bit of trouble with these races. It feels like I'm going a little slow. I tried switching to the car with a higher top speed and it still didn't feel like it made much of a difference. I feel like I'm not doing something, but I'm not quite sure what it is. Maybe if I were to hit the up key on the keyboard? Well, call me the Fresh Prince of Stupid Town, because how did I not think of that sooner? So yeah, your car goes and turns automatically, but it goes and turns more if you use the directional keys. These directional keys are also used to do stunts when in mid-air, and doing stunts is important because they give you a speed boost when you land. You can also use your mouse to guide the car using this cursor in the middle of the screen. However, I found it difficult to work with, so I don't use it. And with all this accumulated knowledge, I was finally able to beat the first level. Jeez Pete's, kid! You're gonna get grounded before we even get to drive on all these tracks! Wait, timeout. These steering wheels seem to be measuring how many stunts I did during the race. So does that mean the steering wheel stat measures a car's ability to do stunts? Maybe it measures handling and stunt ability, but I can't really say for sure. But what I can say for sure is that it's a lot easier to do stunts if your car is going faster through a jump. So if you slow down or crash, you're pretty much screwed. But that's another thing about these tracks. It feels like the time limit is really strict. Like it gives you little to no room for mistakes. If you crash once, you're probably fine. If you crash twice, you're cutting it really close. If you crash a third time, there is no way you'll win. And like I said before, whenever you lose, you have to restart the championship from the beginning, no retries or continues or anything. But restarting from the beginning isn't actually as punishing as it sounds. Each of the tracks are in unique and interesting environments, and the tracks themselves are filled with so many unique jumps and track features that it never gets tiresome driving on them all. On top of that, the cars you unlock through championship mode are often faster than the cars you started with, so it actually gets easier to get back to where you lost thanks to these new and better cars. My favorite car is Twin Mill. Once I unlocked it, that was pretty much the only car I used. Not only does it have some of the best stats of the game, but Twin Mill is also my favorite Hot Wheel of all time. I actually have a couple models of it on my desk, and I also keep an eye out for whenever new models are released. But this last track is starting to annoy me, so I'm going to take a break from this and go play with the track editor mode. Now here is a really cool mode. The kid was nice enough to give us some of his track pieces to play with. Unfortunately, he gave us a limited selection of pieces, and we're limited to the garage, so he still gets to take all the glory for making all the cooler tracks, jerk face. What's interesting is that there's no limit to how much track you can put down, or at least not one that I could find. So you could probably make a track that lasts for 10 minutes. Or maybe even an hour if you're insane. The only real limitation is that you have to stay within this lighted area. The only real complaint I have is that these jump ramps are a bit too short to do any kind of real stunts. You can do at most one stunt, but that's about it. Other than that, there's just some silly nitpicking. Like you can clearly see these S-turns proceed to the right, but in the actual track they proceed to the left, so I am mildly upset about that inaccuracy. Oh, I also forgot some of the pieces have questionable selection hitboxes. Here, you can clearly see I'm trying to select that snake-looking piece, but I keep getting a straightaway. I was able to select it, but it was a bit annoying to actually do so. But other than that, this mode is jolly good fun. You can get up to all kinds of silly shenanigans with the tracks you can make. I even made a track that's just a straight line. I even made another track that was just one loop-de-loop, and that was it. Naturally, I was able to get a gold medal on both tracks because I'm just so unbelievably good at the game. But now I reckon it's time I walk the walk and beat that championship mode once and for all! And every time you restart championship mode, you get another chance to wreck your parents' TV. Kids, seriously though, please do not try this at home. This is something else that's been bumping around in the back of my mind, but this game seems to have no words in it. The only words in the game are hot, wheels, and Mattel. Other than that, there's no words. I'm guessing the developers thought this game would be played by, kids that are so young that they can't even read, so at least they made it more accessible for them. Here's another interesting thought. Have you ever felt that the timer in this game is a bit slow? That's because it actually is. I was rewatching one of my races and timing the race with my own phone at the same time, and while the game told me it took 59 seconds, my phone said it took 1 minute and 13 seconds. That's not super important, I just thought that was interesting. And I'll be uploading some of this footage later so you can try it out for yourself. And I gotta say, I think the graphics are pretty good for a 1998 computer game. And you gotta appreciate the music. Every song is unique, and they perfectly represent the areas they play in. It's just another way this game is able to keep itself fresh. Alright, I've made it back to the final track. All the trial and error I've gone through, as well as the experience I've gained, should help me drive smarter and beat this final level. I hope the game doesn't crash. Oh, thank goodness it didn't. Wait, that was the end! Yes! I did it! This is actually my first time beating championship mode. That last track is very tricky and unfair. This level gives you a time limit of 52 seconds, but the bronze medal has a time of 58 seconds. So this is the only track whose time limit is shorter than the bronze medal time limit, and by extension, the silver medal as well, which is 56 seconds. So it's a bit of a difficulty spike to make sure you've actually mastered the game's mechanics and weren't just coasting along. But hey, at least now I can say I've completed every track in this game. Or have I? The only mode I haven't talked about yet is the single race mode. Here you can race on any track you've unlocked from championship mode, except you don't have to worry about a time limit here. So you can practice your skills here, see what works, see what doesn't, and if you're bold enough, you can unlock more cars by performing certain kinds of stunts. That's how I was able to unlock Slide Art earlier. But since I've beaten championship mode, I'm here to tell you all this little secret. If you come up here and right click on the first T in Mattel, you hear that? The music changed. And if you press the go button and select a car, welcome to the secret 7th track of Hot Wheels Stunt Track Driver. Here's a fun little tidbit. This secret level was actually intended on being a snow level, but they never actually finished it, so they left it looking like this cyberspace kind of level. In the process, I also unlocked another car, Solaire CX-4. So far I've had mostly good things to say about this game, but now that we're coming to the end of the video, I should touch on a couple noticeable flaws. The crash detection can be a bit unpredictable at times. I'm not sure if I was positioned wrong or if this was a random bug, because all of these crashes happened once and then never again. And like I was saying before, the tight time limits create an unusually high difficulty for the target audience, allowing only 1 or 2 crashes for most of the courses and 0 crashes for the last one. Heck, when I was a kid, I was barely able to get past the 3rd level, and now I can breeze through it as if it's a straight line. While on the bright side, the game does reward you for what you can do, and completing championship mode felt like a serious accomplishment, so I guess it's a good kind of difficult. As for the score I'd give this game, I've actually updated my grading scale to be split into 4 different categories for a more descriptive review. They still run from -50 to +50, and positive numbers are better except for difficulty, where you want to shoot for as close to 0 as possible. For the game's functionality, the game works, but it's got a few bugs here and there, so it gets a 36. As for the gameplay, it responds appropriately and manages to stay fresh after a while, so it gets a 40. The game doesn't have much in the way of writing, so that can be excluded. As for difficulty, it's a little high, requiring careful control of your vehicle, but at least it bounces out when you get better cars, so it gets a 12. Final judgment? I'd say this qualifies as a fun game. Thank you for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you'll stick around in anticipation for my next review, which will be for Sonic Colors Ultimate. I'll be seeing you there.